The alien fleet hung above Earth, like silent hunters waiting for prey. Their ships were dark and sharp, drifting in orbit, watching every movement on the blue and green planet below. From their view, Earth looked calm, weak, and unprepared. To them, humans were still small creatures playing with machines and fire, not ready for the stars. The alien commander sat in his chair, eyes fixed on the planet. His ship's bridge was quiet, except for the hum of strange engines. Around him his officers worked, scanning, searching, and waiting. "They have nothing," the commander said coldly. "Only crude machines. Only noise and fear." He believed Earth had no true defense, no secret fleet, no weapons powerful enough to matter. The humans had airplanes, yes, and a few rockets that could reach space. But against his fleet, they were nothing. Still, something was strange. For weeks, the aliens had studied the planet's skies. They saw patterns in the clouds, movements that did not belong to weather. Shadows passed where there should be none. Strange pulses of energy flickered for seconds and then vanished. It was almost like the planet itself was hiding a heartbeat. One officer finally spoke. "Commander, the readings are not normal. The clouds above certain regions, they shift too often. Too perfect, like they are covering something." The commander laughed. "Covering what? Humans cannot even hide their satellites. You think they hide ships inside the sky?" The officer said nothing more, but his eyes did not leave the glowing screen. Numbers moved fast, and the signals kept returning. Far below, Earth's surface looked peaceful. Cities glittered with lights. Oceans rolled slowly under the moonlight. But the skies, yes, the skies were restless. The commander leaned forward, staring hard. For the first time, he felt something cold. It was small, almost nothing, but it pressed against his mind. "A warning. Humans are weak," he reminded himself. "Humans cannot build fleets. They cannot fight the empires of the stars." Yet the silence of the planet was heavy. Too heavy. One night, while the fleet circled above the dark side of Earth, the first sign came. The alien sensors screamed for a moment, sharp and sudden. A beam of energy burst upward from the atmosphere, quick as lightning. It did not touch their ships, but it was strong, powerful, and very old. "Explain!" the commander shouted. The officers searched their screens. They had no answer. The signal had come and gone. Another burst followed, this one larger, reaching the edges of space. It came from the clouds themselves, tearing through like a hidden blade. The crew began to whisper. Could humans be stronger than they thought? Could Earth be more than a weak world lost in the dark? Still, the commander shook his head. No illusions, tricks, they cannot have such weapons. But deep inside, he knew it was not a trick. The planet was breathing. Hours passed. The alien fleet drifted in silence, waiting for movement. Their ships were ready, their weapons glowing, but nothing came. The skies looked calm again. Then the clouds began to move. At first it was slow, almost gentle. A ripple across the horizon, like a wave in the ocean. Then the ripple grew stronger, spreading across the sky. The clouds twisted, spun, and tore apart in wide circles. The commander stood, gripping the edge of his chair. The officers shouted, "The atmosphere is tearing open!" The clouds split apart, revealing blinding light. Something massive moved behind it. Not lightning, not storms. This was metal. This was power. The alien fleet stared in silence. For years they had believed Earth was weak. But the truth was rising before their eyes. The first shadow came through the sky. A long, dark shape with wings like blades and engines glowing bright orange. It was a ship, sleek, silent, and deadly. Its surface reflected the light of Earth's sun, black and silver, with sharp angles made for war. The aliens gasped. It was not one ship. Another followed. And another. The commander's hands trembled. He had studied hundreds of planets. None of them had hidden this well. These are human ships, one officer whispered. "No," the commander said, but his voice was hollow. The fleet kept rising. More and more ships broke through the sky, each one larger than the last. Their engines roared like thunder, shaking the very clouds apart. The alien crew sat frozen. For the first time in their lives, they felt something they did not understand. Fear. The commander whispered to himself, "This is not possible. They should not have this power." But the truth was clear. Earth had been hiding. For decades, maybe longer, the humans had been preparing. While aliens mocked them, while empires ignored them, humanity had built something in secret. Something buried in the clouds, hidden from every eye, waiting for this very moment. The silent watch was over, and the sky was about to break. The clouds no longer looked like clouds. They twisted and burned with strange colors, as if the sky itself was alive. What had been soft and white now stretched into long shapes, glowing from within. The alien crew watched in silence. Their scanners screamed with warnings they had never seen before. The sky was not just opening, it was breaking. At the center of the storm, a line of pure light cut across the horizon. It was thin at first, sharp as a knife. Then it widened, stretching until it looked like the very heavens were splitting apart. The commander could not breathe. He had seen black holes, supernovas, even dying suns. But this was something else. Out of the tearing sky, a ship emerged. It was enormous, bigger than the alien commander's own vessel. Its body was sleek, black as midnight, yet shining with edges of steel and fire. Engines glowed with a deep orange, burning like the heart of a star. The nose of the warship pointed forward like a spear ready to strike. This cannot be human, an officer whispered. But it was. The markings on the side were clear. The language was Earth's. The flag painted along the hull was unmistakable. The commander's heart sank. Before anyone could recover, another ship pushed through the torn clouds. Then another. The light from the tear poured over them, making the fleet shine like blades in the dark. They did not drift like clumsy machines. They moved with perfect order, each ship sliding into position as though rehearsed for years. The formation spread across the sky, covering it like a shield. The alien fleet scrambled to understand. Scanners tried to measure the ships, but the numbers made no sense. The human warships were larger, faster, and more advanced than anything Earth should have been able to build. Impossible, the commander muttered. His voice shook now. They were not ready for space. They had no fleet, no empire, and yet the proof stood before him. The warships were real. The humans had hidden them in the skies, waiting for the day the stars came to take their planet. The alien bridge fell into silence. The crew looked to their commander, but even he had no words. Then the sky tore open again. This time, it was different. The clouds exploded outward, a massive blast of air rolling through the upper atmosphere. Lightning danced across the horizon. From the tier, more ships came, bigger, heavier, glowing brighter than the last wave. It was not just a fleet. It was an armada. The alien commander gripped the rail in front of him. His claws dug into the metal, leaving deep marks. He wanted to order fire, to unleash everything his fleet had, but his body refused. His mind whispered a warning. If you strike, they will destroy you. The human ships spread wider, their engines leaving long trails of fire across the clouds. Their hulls glowed with hidden power, as if weapons were waiting under the surface. The alien fleet was strong, yes. They had fought dozens of worlds and conquered many, but none had greeted them like this. None had risen from silence with such power. The commander thought of the reports he had ignored. Strange signals, vanishing probes, human silence on certain frequencies. It had all been part of this. The humans had never been weak. They had only been quiet. And quiet was the most dangerous weapon of all. A sharp sound cut through the alien bridge. Communication. A human voice filled the commander's ears. Calm, cold, confident. "You're not welcome here," the voice said. "Leave now or face Earth's strength." The words echoed, simple, clear, final. The alien crew froze. None of them had expected to hear a human voice that strong. None of them had expected such control. The commander's chest tightened. For the first time, he realized this might not be a battle. This might be an ending. He looked at the growing fleet. Warships lined the skies from horizon to horizon. Their engines burned so bright the clouds looked like fire. One of his officers whispered, "If these are their scouts, what else waits behind them?" The commander did not answer. He did not want to know. The tear in the sky still glowed, and the light inside it pulsed like the heartbeat of something even greater. Maybe this was not the full fleet. Maybe this was only the beginning. The alien ships drifted back, unsure, silent. Fear spread through them like poison, but Earth's fleet did not move. They waited, still and ready, their weapons glowing in the dark. The commander swallowed hard. The sky had opened, and it had revealed not weakness, not chaos, but power. Power sharp enough to slice through empires. He closed his eyes for a moment. He thought of the other worlds that had laughed at Earth. He thought of the other commanders who would never believe his words. When he opened his eyes, the sky still burned, and the human fleet was still there, waiting. The first tear in the sky had changed everything, and the war had not even begun. The alien fleet hovered in silence, their dark ships spread across the edge of Earth's orbit. For years, they had believed humans were nothing but noisy creatures trapped on a small blue planet. But now, before their very eyes, that idea was burning away. The human warships filled the skies. They stood in perfect formation, engines glowing, their hulls gleaming with strange symbols and markings. The fleet looked alive, almost breathing, like one massive body moving with a single mind. The alien commander's hands shook as he stared at the view. He tried to speak, but his throat was dry. Finally, he forced the words out. "This is impossible." His officers said nothing. Their screens showed readings too high to believe. Energy levels that belonged to ancient empires. Weapons that should take centuries to build. Engines that burned with technology far beyond Earth's known science. "Commander," one officer said softly, "if they attack, we cannot stop them." The commander snapped back, "No, they are humans. They cannot know war the way we do." But even as he spoke, doubt ate at him. The human fleet moved slowly, spreading across the upper skies. Each ship slid into position as if guided by invisible strings. No confusion, no mistakes. Every movement was precise, sharp, and disciplined. This was not the fleet of a young world. This was the fleet of a species that had been waiting for this very moment. Suddenly, the silence broke. A human broadcast cut through space, reaching every alien ship at once. The voice was clear, deep, and calm. "You will leave this orbit," the voice said. "You will not return. Earth is under protection." The alien crew froze. The humans were not begging. They were not asking for peace. They were commanding, the commander growled. "Protection. From who? From us?" But no answer came. Only silence, followed by the low hum of human warships powering up. Their engines roared louder, their weapons began to glow with orange fire. The commander's second in command stepped forward. His voice shook. "Sir, these ships are not defending. They are ready to strike." On Earth's surface, billions of humans watched the sky in awe. For generations, they had looked upward with fear of what might come from the stars. Now they saw the truth. The stars had come, yes, but Earth was ready. The first human warship shifted, turning its nose directly toward the alien flagship. The design was terrifying. Its long hull shimmered with hidden weapons. Its engines glowed like burning suns. Then the others followed, pointing their weapons outward. The alien fleet was surrounded. The commander's chest tightened. His crew whispered in fear. Never had they seen humans like this. Never had they imagined such power hidden on a single world. He thought of the stories, the rumors spread among the stars. Whispers that Earth was not ordinary. That humanity had once touched something ancient, something older than empires. That they had taken secrets from the ruins of forgotten worlds. Until now, he had laughed at those whispers. But looking at the fleet above Earth, he was no longer laughing. One of the alien officers cried out, "Commander! Their energy cores, they are not human-made. They are something else." The commander turned sharply. "Explain." But before the officer could answer, the human flagship's lights flared. A deep vibration rolled through the atmosphere, shaking even the alien ships in orbit. Weapons. Ancient, terrifying weapons. The human broadcast came again, stronger, colder. "Leave now. This is your only warning." The alien commander's claws dug into the edge of his chair. His pride screamed to fight, to prove their empire stronger. But his instincts, his bones, told him another truth. If they fought here, they would be erased. Still, some of his ships began to move forward. Younger captains, too proud, too foolish. They charged their weapons and aimed at the nearest human warship. The commander tried to stop them, but it was too late. The alien guns fired. Bolts of energy ripped across the sky, and then the humans answered. The first human warship opened fire. The weapon did not blaze like normal cannons. It shone like a star tearing itself apart. A beam of pure light cut through the dark, striking the alien ship. The alien vessel did not explode. It simply vanished, burned into dust in seconds, erased as if it had never existed. The alien fleet gasped. Even the commander froze, his body locked in shock. One shot, one ship gone. Then the other human warships powered up, their weapons glowing brighter. The commander realized too late. This was not just defense. This was a message, a warning written in fire. The humans had shown their true power, and the galaxy would never be the same. The sky above Earth was no longer blue. It was fire. Thunder rolled across the heavens as human warships and alien vessels faced each other. Clouds twisted and burned, lit by the glow of engines and weapons. The silence of watching was over. Now came the storm. The alien commander stood at the edge of his bridge. His heart pounded as he looked at the wall of human warships spread across the sky. He had thought humans were weak. He had thought Earth would fall in hours. Instead, he found himself staring at an armada strong enough to challenge empires. One alien captain broke formation. His ship moved forward, engines blazing. "Commander!" a voice cried on the comms. "We cannot retreat. We must strike now." The commander opened his mouth to order them back. But before he could, the alien ship fired. Bolts of plasma streaked across the clouds, cutting through the air with sharp trails of green light. The humans answered at once. A beam of pure white fire erupted from one warship, cutting through the alien vessel in seconds. The enemy ship split apart like paper, breaking into burning fragments that fell into the clouds below. The commander froze. That was no ordinary weapon. It was cleaner, faster, more precise. A single strike had erased an entire warship, but the battle had already begun. The alien fleet opened fire, filling the sky with light. Dozens of blasts thundered toward Earth's defenders. The clouds burned, splitting open with every hit, yet the human fleet did not scatter. They did not panic. Their ships moved in perfect order, sliding left and right, weaving through the fire as if they had been trained for this one moment their whole lives. Then the humans struck back. Orange light burst from their cannons, slicing across the sky like swords of flame. Alien ships exploded one after another, their screams lost in the roar of engines and thunder. The clouds themselves became weapons. Shockwaves from the blasts rolled through the atmosphere, bending air and lightning around the ships. The sky turned into a storm of fire and ash. On Earth's surface, people looked upward. They saw flashes in the night sky, brilliant bursts of color. They heard distant thunder that was not thunder. They felt the ground shake beneath their feet. Some cried in fear, but many stood tall. For the first time, they saw their world fighting back. On the alien flagship, panic spread through the crew. Screens showed ship after ship falling, their signals blinking out one by one. The commander's hands gripped the rail so hard, his claws drew sparks against the metal. "This should not be possible," he whispered. "Humans cannot fight like this." But they could. And they were. The alien fleet tried to regroup, pulling back into tighter formations. They poured fire into the humans, desperate to break through. But the humans met them at every turn, answering shot with shot, their weapons blazing brighter than the stars. Still, the aliens were not weak. Their numbers were greater. Their ships, though falling fast, pressed forward in waves. Each one carried weapons forged in empires that had ruled space for centuries. The clash turned brutal. One human warship was caught in a crossfire. Alien cannons hammered it until the hull cracked and the engines burst into flame. The ship spun downward, vanishing into the clouds below. The alien crew cheered, but their joy died quickly. 3 more human ships rose from the clouds, their weapons already glowing. They cut through the alien line with blinding fire, erasing the victory in seconds. The commander realized the truth. Humans had built more than just ships. They had built unity, discipline, precision. This was not a wild fleet. This was a blade honed in silence, now unsheathed. The storm raged on. Lightning flashed across the clouds, mixing with plasma and fire. Warships weaved through storms of ash, their engines howling. Explosions lit the sky until night looked like day. The alien fleet began to fall back, driven by fear. But the commander held his ground, his eyes locked on the horizon. Something was coming, something greater. He could feel it. A shadow moved above the clouds, larger than the warships, larger than anything he had ever seen. The crew saw it too. Their voices shook as they reported, "Commander, something is rising." The clouds below burst open once more, but this time the light was not bright. It was dark, heavy, like the shadow of a mountain moving upward. The alien commander's breath caught. The human fleet paused, holding position, as though waiting for this very moment. Slowly, a colossal shape rose into view. It was not a warship. It was something beyond warships. A vessel so large it dwarfed even the alien flagship. Its hull stretched for miles, black and silver, glowing with hundreds of weapons buried in its surface. Its engines pulsed like the heartbeat of a giant. The human flagship, the true weapon of Earth. The alien commander's legs nearly gave out. He gripped the rail to stay standing. This is not war," he whispered. "This is judgment." The battle paused, as every eye, human and alien, turned to the massive ship now rising above the clouds. It was not just a machine. It was a message, a warning written in steel and fire, and it was only beginning to wake. The clouds trembled as the shadow rose higher. The human flagship broke through the storm, like a mountain lifting itself into the sky. Its hull stretched farther than the eye could see, layered with black steel and glowing with rivers of fire. Hundreds of weapon ports lined its sides, each one larger than a city building. Its engines thundered like the heartbeat of the planet itself. The alien fleet froze. For years, they had believed Earth was nothing. For years, they had laughed at the idea of humans reaching the stars. But now they saw the truth. Humanity had not only reached for the stars, they had prepared to claim them. The commander's chest tightened until he could hardly breathe. His crew stared wide-eyed, their scales pale, their hands shaking on the controls. None of them dared to speak. The humans had been hiding this for decades, perhaps for longer. And now they had chosen to reveal it. The flagship's lights burned brighter, casting shadows across every alien ship in orbit. Then slowly, a voice rose again across the comms. It was calm, it was human, but it carried weight, a weight that pressed against the hearts of every listener. "This is Earth," the voice said. "You will not invade. You will not return. If you test us again, you will not survive." The words rang like thunder, simple, sharp, absolute. The alien commander's throat went dry. His pride told him to fight. His empire demanded victory. But his eyes told him another truth. If he fought here, his fleet would die, and his name would vanish in smoke. He had seen great weapons. He had seen ancient machines left by forgotten races. But nothing like this. The humans were not defending. They were announcing. Across the battlefield, silence returned. Ships drifted in stillness. The clouds parted around the human flagship as if the very sky feared to touch it. The alien crew whispered to each other. Some wanted to flee. Others wanted to beg. The commander closed his eyes. He could feel it. This ship was not just built by human hands. It carried secrets, old and dangerous. Secrets stolen from ruins, buried in silence. Yes, that was it. Earth had not done this alone. They had touched something older than empires. They had found power in places no one else dared to search. And now that power was theirs. The humans had become the heirs of something forgotten. The commander opened his eyes again, staring at the massive vessel. He could not understand it, but he knew one thing. This was not the end of Earth, this was the beginning. The human flagship tilted slightly and its weapons began to glow. The alien fleet flinched as one. Then the humans fired, not at the aliens, but into the empty sky above. A single beam of white fire tore upward, vanishing into the stars. It cut through space itself. A warning not just to the aliens here, but to anyone watching from afar. The galaxy would hear of this. Every empire, every world, the humans had risen. The alien commander felt his strength drain away. His claws trembled as he gave the only order left: retreat. One by one, the alien ships turned, engines flaring as they pulled back. No one argued. No one disobeyed. The fear in their bones was too strong. The human fleet did not chase them. They did not need to. The message had already been carved into the stars. Earth was not weak. Earth was not prey. Earth was a predator waiting in silence, now revealed. As the alien fleet fled, the commander looked back one final time. The human flagship loomed in the clouds, massive and silent, like a god of steel watching its world. Its lights flickered, its weapons cooled, and its engines burned steady. He whispered to himself, almost in prayer, "If this is their beginning, then the galaxy is not ready for their future." On Earth, people looked to the skies. They saw the warships spread like wings across the horizon. They felt fear, yes, but also pride. For the first time, they understood their true place. Not victims, not prey, but a power no one could ignore. The flagship slowly sank back into the clouds, disappearing into the storm as though it had never been there. The smaller warships followed, vanishing one by one, until the skies above Earth looked almost normal again. But they were not normal. They never would be again, because now the galaxy knew, and somewhere beyond the stars older empires stirred. Ancient enemies awoke. If Earth could rise like this, then what else was waiting in the dark? The silent watch was over, and the next war had only just begun.